It's no secret that the Mega Halo line has been MIA now for over a year. During this time, there has been no official statement from the company explaining what happened or what lies ahead. All social channels have either been closed or simply ignored, which has left the Halo Mega community unsurprisingly frustrated and for many angry. Whilst I do understand why people have these feelings of frustration and to some extent anger, I wanted to make this video to explain to you why I personally don't feel frustrated or angry, in the hope that it might help some of you to feel less frustrated and angry. Because at the end of the day, who wants to feel like that in their hobby, their downtime? This is supposed to be our safe place, our refuge, and no one wants to either be experiencing those feelings or witnessing other people experiencing those feelings in the comment sections of every video that we like to watch. Before I get into it, I just want to declare that this is purely my opinion on the situation. You don't have to agree with it and you don't have to like it, but you also don't have to hate me for it. We're all allowed our own opinion. This is mine. I also want to make it very clear that I have no inside information on this situation. Zero. I know I've collaborated with this company in the past, but I have no current contact with any of these companies that I'll be mentioning or the people that work for them. Okay, so let's get straight into it. To try and help you understand why I'm not frustrated, angry, or worried about the current situation, we need to understand why those that are feel the way they feel. And it seems to me, when reading the comment section of just about any social media post or YouTube video related to Mega Halo, the main frustrations come from the fact that we haven't had a new product for over a year, and we've had complete radio silence from the company themselves. People feel that if they weren't going to release products, they should have released a statement saying why they haven't released products. They also took the Mega Halo website offline, as well as the Mega Halo forum site offline. So they effectively deleted the Mega Bloks, Mega Construx, and Mega Halo presence from the internet, outside of whatever any private individuals like ourselves had done. But officially, it's as if they wanted to make the Mega Halo brand disappear. And for many, I think that's what took them from slightly concerned and disgruntled to basically really, really angry. They felt that was unfair. They'd committed a lot of their time, energy, and money into this brand, and for the brand to just remove themselves from the face of the planet, many felt like this was a personal insult to them, with no sign of an apology or an explanation from the company. That was the spark that set this fire amongst the community, which is just built and built and built to a point where a lot of people are getting really, really nasty. So why is it that these facts don't bother me? Because I like new product. As you guys know, I buy enough of it. I also like the fact, in fact, I don't like it, I love it, the fact that how involved the Mega Halo team were with the community, especially around the launch of Halo Infinite. They were doing so much, and they were getting so much praise, not just from the Mega community, but even the Lego community were taking notice and saying, this is how you provide fan service. They were doing an absolutely fantastic job, and it's gone from that to nothing and being absolutely hated. So they've gone from being loved and providing a great service and an absolutely fantastic first-class product to being hated and slandered pretty much everywhere. So once again, why am I okay with this? Well, the reason I'm okay with it is because I believe everything can be explained by a very simple 3 letters: NDA, non-disclosure agreements. Every company has them when they're working with or collaborating with another company. And we know for a fact through various interviews we've seen with people that work at Mega, specifically on the Halo line, that they have very, very strict NDAs with 343 studios, historically that is. And I believe what we've been experiencing over the last 12 months are the effects of the latest NDA signed between Mattel, or Mattel Brick Shop, and Halo Studios. You'll note I said Mattel Brick Shop there, not Mega. And that's because I believe the future of Halo brick built toys lies with Mattel Brick Shop, not Mega. I think it's very clear at this point that Mega as we know it has been dissolved. Most of the staff have been laid off. We saw in 2020 there were 580 members of staff laid off from the Mega Bloks company. And just bear in mind that although Mattel own Mega or Mega Bloks, Mega Bloks is treated like a separate company within Mattel. Mattel own lots of companies, and all those companies are expected to run by themselves and turn a profit by themselves. Mattel is the mothership, if you would like. They give all the final yeses and nos. If Mega want to do something or work outside of their budget provided by Mattel, they would have to go back to Mattel and say, we want to do X, Y, or Z. Mattel would say, prove to us that that's good for us and our shareholders, and we'll think about it. And it goes from there. But ultimately, back in 2020, 580 members of staff from Mega Bloks lost their jobs when they closed the Montreal factory. Later in 2024, which is much more recent, a further 60 members of staff lost their job within Mega, which is reported were a lot more closely linked to lines like Halo, Pokémon, and Hot Wheels. And as we all know, Pokémon was lost. They lost that franchise to Lego, which I also think is a big part of what is happening here. So what exactly is happening here? Why were we seeing all of these Mega Bloks layoffs? Well, logic suggests in any given situation with multiple competing explanations, often the most obvious answer is the correct one. And the most obvious answer as to why Mega Bloks was experiencing all of these layoffs is simple. It wasn't making enough money to please the shareholders at Mattel. They're the ones holding the keys to the kingdom here. They're the ones deciding the fate of their companies. If one of their companies is hemorrhaging money and they have to keep them afloat, they're going to want to do something about it. Without getting into the weeds of it, I'm working on the assumption that for one reason or another, Mega wasn't making money. Forget all of the sublines within the Mega Bloks company, because there really are many, and Halo was a very small part of it. But ultimately, it's clear that Mega Bloks was not making enough money. If it was making Mattel millions and millions and millions of pounds or dollars a year, there's no way Mattel would have said, forget that, let's shut the factory down and make a loss. They would have said, keep going, guys, you're doing a great job. The other thing we know is that the state of Halo hasn't been very good over the last 5+ years. So from a Halo Mega point of view, that's a double hit. Halo's not doing very well, and Mega, the company that builds our toys, also isn't doing very well. So that doesn't bode very well for the future of our favourite toy. So what do I think was the catalyst that caused the Mega Halo team to stop producing Mega Halo sets, to stop interacting with the public through social media, and to remove all evidence of the Halo Mega line that they were in control of, i.e. their websites? For me personally, Pokémon. I believe that it was losing Pokémon to Lego. I don't know how that happened, but obviously Lego now has the Pokémon license. I firmly believe that Pokémon was the straw that broke the camel's back for Mega. Not Mega Bloks, but Mega. We have received a statement at some point from Mattel saying that Mega Bloks will continue and it will be run alongside Mattel Brick Shop. What we haven't had confirmation of is if Mega will continue to run alongside Mattel Brick Shop. Mega Bloks and Mega are two separate entities within Mega brands. Mega Bloks are all sorts of things. They make plastic toys, they make the giant building blocks, the more toddler side of the toy world for them. Mega is their collector's side of things, like Halo, what would have been if it was still there, Call of Duty, anything more adult, Hot Wheels, Pokémon, Game of Thrones, all those kind of things. Now, obviously, most of those licenses have either expired, gone, or they've just given up on. But what was still there was Pokémon, Hot Wheels, and Halo. When they lost the Pokémon line to Lego, I firmly believe that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and it signaled a huge loss in future profit coming from the Mega side of Mega Bloks. And remember, a loss for Mega is a loss for Mattel. And of the 3 remaining licenses that Mega was still actively producing, Halo, Hot Wheels, and Pokémon, I'm pretty confident Pokémon was their biggest earner. So when they went to Mattel and said, we've lost the license to Lego and it's going to cost us, and indirectly you, this much profit every year, I believe Mattel rolled its sleeves up, said, we're going to take on Lego, and that's how Mattel Brick Shop was spawned. They decided that after all these years of just owning a brick building toy company, they decided, just like Thanos, they'd do it themselves. Why would a company that owns a brick building company create another brick building company? It doesn't make any sense. Everybody cried that at the beginning. Well, it doesn't make any sense if you're not looking at it the right way. But if you understand what I think Mattel are trying to do, it actually makes perfect sense. And it also explains why we've experienced what we've experienced with the team from Mega and the Halo line. To help explain what I mean by that, you can look at the Hot Wheels line. So we all know that Mega have had a Hot Wheels license for years, and they've been creating some great sets. But when I say we all know, I mean we all know as in all of you that might be watching this video. That's a very small amount of people in the grand scheme of things, which unfortunately isn't enough for a company like Mattel. If they're going to invest and enter the brick market, they're not looking for peanuts or scraps. They're going for the big dog. They're going for Lego numbers. You should know, if you're a Mega fan, that Mega must be 1% the size of Lego. Lego is an absolute juggernaut on the world stage of toys, and Mega doesn't even come close to what Lego have achieved. Mattel didn't get out of bed in the morning to try and be Mega. They got out and said, we're going to join the brick building world and we want to be as big as Lego. They've set their sights high. They've seen other brick companies coming in like Lumi Bricks and Fantasy that are doing a really good job of taking on Lego and producing some good stuff. They saw an opportunity. They saw other companies going for Lego's throat and thought, we can do this. We can have a go at this. And that's why I believe they created Mattel Brick Shop. But they wanted licenses. They wanted to make a good first impression and make a good impact on the market from the word go. So what did they do? They looked at what they had immediately available in Mega's portfolio, one of them being Hot Wheels. And what did they do? They pretended like the world had never seen it before. We all saw the press releases about them reimagining the way brick building sets work and something along those lines, and ultimately preached to the world like it was all new and they were just entering the brick built toy market, when everybody that's been a Mega fan was questioning, you have owned one since 2015 or 2016. But they didn't want anyone to know that. Another thing that they did cleverly was they absolutely ignored the entire Mega community in every sense of the word. When they were doing the release for the Hot Wheels line, they intentionally boycotted every single Mega influencer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they have gone to town on the launch of Hot Wheels. Look at how much money they've invested. They have spread that word beyond belief. It is everywhere on social media. They sent sets out to hundreds of influencers, all of which are not mega influencers. They are just quite often either general influencers or general toy influencers. And the reason they did that is because they weren't just trying to rebrand for their existing Mega Bloks community. They were trying to wipe the slate clean and create a new community, which is why they've tried to cut all ties between Mega Hot Wheels and Mattel Brick Shop Hot Wheels. They want this to look to the average person like it's a new thing. And guess what? From what I can see, they've succeeded with bells on. All sorts of influencers are posting about the new Mattel Brick Shop Hot Wheels as if brick-built Hot Wheels are a new thing. I must have 10 sets of Mega Hot Wheels sets that look almost as good as the Mattel Brick Shop ones. They're not hugely different. The one they've just most recently released, the Audi S2, was already shown off as a potential Mega Hot Wheels set. They've just tweaked it, rebranded it, put a stamp on it, and said it's Mega. They've also confirmed that some of the designers from Mega now work for Mattel Brick Shop. So as much as to us, it just looks like a rebrand, which they're denying, to the general public, it looks like something new. And for me, the one reason, or the biggest reason they've done this, is because sadly, Mega Bloks has always had a reputation. And as much as us hardcore fans know, over the years it's gone from strength to strength. It's improved no ends. Unfortunately, it's very hard to shed a bad reputation, no matter how much you improve on it. And the last thing they wanted was people saying, oh, it's just Mega Bloks. It's just Mega Bloks. Even to this day, I still see countless comments on my videos that Mega Bloks are trash. They fall apart. They're malformed. This, that, and everything else as to why they're just a Lego copy and they're not worth your spit. The last thing Mattel is going to want when they're investing millions, if not billions, into this endeavor is to be tied to a name and a brand that has got a questionable history. And I can't argue with that. And that's why, to me, it makes perfect sense for them to have no ties and no association to Mega or its history, no matter how proud we may be of that history. Because guess what? From their perspective, I'm really sorry to tell you, it's not about us. It's about making money, and it's about creating a new audience that is 100,000 times larger than us as a community. We're very proud of our community, but we are not enough. I know some people would argue we are, but we're simply not. We are what's left of an old community that has moved on, got bored, gone to Lego, and we're the die-hard fans just clinging on. That doesn't make companies millions or billions. Appealing to the wider world audience as a new product is what will make them millions. And that is what Mattel Brick Shop is here to do. And guess what? I don't think they're going to stop at Hot Wheels. And that brings us nicely onto the second point of why I'm not worried and also why I'm optimistic for the future. And that would be because I personally believe that Mattel Brick Shop have done a fantastic job of reinventing the Hot Wheels brand, selling it to the world, and succeeding. Those things, from what I understand, are flying off the shelf. Jangbricks is reviewing them, which is fantastic. He doesn't even touch Halo anymore because it's not relevant, but he is doing those Hot Wheels sets because they are relevant. People are watching them. Go into the comment section of his videos and you will see that generally they are being really widely praised for how good they are. And that is what Mattel Brickshop set out to do, and that's what they have succeeded in doing. And it's my personal belief that they are going to do the same with the Halo line. They are going to relaunch it. They are going to say, we've acquired the Halo line and we are going to be producing these sets, and they're going to be like nothing you've ever seen before. And they are going to pitch it to the world in the exact same manner as they pitched the Hot Wheels sets. They're going to say it's going to be fantastic. You've never seen anything like it. It's the best thing since sliced bread. So with all that said, why the radio silence? Why remove the websites? Why not issue a statement about what they're trying to do? Well, plain and simply, that doesn't make any sense. They are trying to create a clean break. And even though they may have the designers from the Halo Mega team there, and some of the other members of staff that used to work there, they do not want to be connected to Mega. They do not want people saying Mattel Brickshop is just a rebrand of the Mega brand. They want to be their own entity. They want to cut the head off that snake and say, no, that's over, that's done, without saying it's over or it's done. Why don't they want to say it's over or it's done? Because they don't want to say anything. They want to release to the world as a new company that they are producing something new. By acknowledging the Mega fan base, they are effectively admitting that, yes, we've ended that, but we've started this. They want to appear as two separate companies. When Lego announced to the world that they had the Pokémon license, they did not talk about Mega or what came before. They talked about themselves. Mattel Brickshop are going to do the same thing. Just because they own Mega doesn't mean they want to talk about it. They're looking forwards, not back. And does that mean that they don't care about the Mega community? Debatable. What they care about is money. If we want to join that journey, then we can join that journey. But they are not going to base the future of Halo, Mattel, Brickshop brands on what we want or what we think we know. They'll have their plan. I'm sure it will work. And all of this hatred towards Mega will be forgotten about if Mattel Brickshop bring out the single most impressive line of Halo brick-built sets you've ever seen. Most of us, I would almost argue the majority of us, will buy them. Why wouldn't you? It's no different to when Mega Bloks changed to Mega Construx. We didn't like that. And when they changed to Mega, some of us liked it, some of us didn't like it. But ultimately, we carried on buying the sets, and we're still here now. But more importantly than us buying them, we need tens, if not hundreds of thousands of other people to buy them, because that's what guarantees future brand security. That's what will give us not another line, another year's worth of sets, but another 10 or 15 years worth of sets. We need that security. And with the juggernaut that Mattel is, we finally have a company with the kind of deep pockets you need to bring back things like signature series sets and really large lines. They make their own budget, Mattel, and they are prepared to dig deep to make things work. They've proved that with the Hot Wheels launch campaign. They must have spent more than that than Mega Bloks had on a budget for an entire year with the Halo line. And if this does all turn out to be correct, and we have a great future with Mattel Brickshop Halo, it will more than likely come with new websites, forums, and all the other things that we so dearly miss. Obviously, it won't cover Mega Bloks and everything that came before, because that would be contradictory to everything that I've just said. It just doesn't work. And as sad as that is, we do have Simon at the Domain, we have the Janus Key project, and all of the other people involved with that Mega Archive project that Simon is spearheading. We as a community will post that for any newcomers, and anybody that does come into this hobby in the form of Mattel Brick Shop Halo fans, they will no doubt join our community to see what came before. And no matter which way you look at it, that is a positive thing for the future of our community and our hobby. So to summarize, don't get angry at Mega for not talking to us on socials. It's almost guaranteed that they aren't talking to us because they've either been asked not to by Mattel or Halo Studios, or they're legally obliged to not talk to us through contracts that they would have signed, these NDA agreements. Also, don't get angry with them for us not getting sets. The reason we're not getting sets has to be because of the future plans for Halo. We know through designer interviews that these sets are planned out 2 to 3 years in advance, so they would have had plans. We know sets were already in production and got cancelled. They got pulled because of a greater plan. Do we know what that plan is? No. Have I speculated for you? Yes. Do you believe me? That's up to you. But ultimately there will be a reason, and in time we'll find out exactly what that reason is. And so there you have it. That is why I'm not worried, concerned, frustrated or angry about the current state of Halo in brick form, or Halo Mega. And that's because I believe the future of brick built Halo is potentially better than we've imagined for a very long time. Now, some of you may just go straight to the comments to let me know I've been overdosing on the hopium, which, can I just say, I hate that phrase. That phrase is a phrase made up by pessimists to make themselves feel better when they're around optimists. So it will be interesting to see how things turn out. I could be way off the mark, or I could be right. If I'm wrong, I'll delete the video and pretend I never said it. And if I'm right, well, I'm right. So try to stay calm, be patient, have a little bit of faith. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.